I think I know what you're gonna how you're gonna answer this, but as a fan, is it easier to deal with if your team kind of struggles throughout the season? You know they're not gonna make the playoffs, but you support the team. Is that easier, or with the White Sox being 2.5 games out of the wild card, they have to win the division to get in the postseason. That stress, that tension, night in, night out. Would you rather have that, deal with that, and have your team close to the playoffs, maybe not get in, or just completely be out of it? Like, how does that?
Yeah.
How do you handle the stress? Like, is which situation for you is more enjoy? I mean, I know making the playoffs is more enjoyable, but just the heartbreak,
Yeah.
to be that close and to not get in. So how do you kind of deal with that as a fan?
Well, as a fan, I'm all in on the ride. Like I just like the ride. And as a fan, Carl, you and me were the same fan. We went to the same college. We root for the same teams, except swap the White Sox and the Cubs. Historically, that has not been so good for us over the course of our lifetime. You know what I mean?
Right.
So to me, it's just about the rides. It's just about the runs. Like what was devastating to me with this White Sox season is that I never got the blood pumping once, until like these last 2 weeks. Now I've got the blood pumping. Like now there are things at stake. That to me is what's exciting for as a fan is going on that ride. Now I've known not to expect that ride. Like that ride is not going to end in a championship. And I've just been conditioned to understand that. It's just about the ride that it takes you on. So to me, right now I'm on a little bit of a ride where every game that the Sox play now has like a little bit of a playoff taste to it. So if they can get on top of this, get into the playoffs, even if they lose in the first round or whatever, then that to me was like a good fun ride and at least I got something out of it. But as a fan, I guess where I want to be is kind of understand where we are as an organization. Like I don't have the highest expectations for the Chicago Bears this year. That made that win kind of awesome. And then you see them kind of coached up and you're like, oh, okay, you can see the foundation for the thing that's being built towards, even if they don't go on any kind of like a run or like if they're, don't make the playoffs, don't whatever, that's all fine with me because I get a sense of like where the organization is and they're not lying to me. With the White Sox this season, like they kind of talk a lot of shit, like in the couple seasons leading up to it. Like if you take some like the poll quotes of the best team in the American League, like all of that stuff, you have kind of like and sort of attitude of the organization like it's going to be all worth it, change the game, all of this stuff, like then I feel like I was sold a lie. You know what I mean? That like when the marketing is one place and then the team is in another place, then I'm like, well then if you guys don't know where we are, then we're in big trouble. Like that's to me the worst place to be as a fan. But I want to look at things as glass half full with the White Sox right now because the last 2 weeks have been a lot of fun. So, they still have a chance. I mean, that's what's kind of been crazy about this season. Like Mets fans are probably so stressed out right now, probably like similar stress feelings, and that team will win like 105 games, but like the White Sox are right there. So we'll see how it goes. But that's what I like as a fan. The run is all good with me. I've been trauma bonded to the teams that I root for, where just a run is good for me and fun enough for me. But as a fan, I think the worst place to be is when the team tells you and says that they're one place and you can just see with your eyeballs that they are not in that place.